All right, good morning and welcome to the Nevada State Board of Pharmacy, March 2026 meeting. Today is Thursday, March 5th, and our meeting will now come to order. My name is Helen Park and I'll be the presiding officer. We'll start with the Board of Pharmacy mission statement. In regulating the practice of pharmacy, the Nevada State Board of Pharmacy has a duty to carry out and enforce the provisions of Nevada law to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. Next, we'll do our roll call. Mr. Adam Porath.
Here.
Ms. Crystal Freitas.
Here.
Ms. Shanice Taylor.
Here.
Ms. Anna Carr.
Present.
Ms. Jay Jacobo.
Present.
Okay, and Mr. Richard Tomaso.
Excused absence.
All right, we do have a quorum. I'll turn it over to Mr. Weiss for any announcements.
Good morning, Madam President. Just one quick one. This meeting will be held in compliance with Nevada open meeting law. Some components of it will take place on Zoom. For the public that's in the room, they can see the Zoom people on the left of them, and the board knows where to look for theirs. Have a great meeting.
Great. Our next order of business, the board will open up the floor for any public comment. If we have anyone in the room or online who wishes to make a public comment, please feel free to come forward now.
Not seeing anyone, Madam President, on Zoom.
I don't see anyone in the room as well. There will be another period of public comment at the end of today's meeting. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into our agenda items. We'll start with 14A workshop.
Good morning, President Park and board members. This is Darla Zarley for the record. And this workshop item or this proposed regulation can be found on page 4795 of your board book. This proposed regulation is to schedule N-pyroladino and metronidazine and N-pyroladino protonidazine in Schedule 1. Benzimidazole opioids, commonly referred to as nidazines, emerged on the recreational drug market in 2019. This class of substances shares a similar pharmacological profile with fentanyl, morphine, and other mu opioid receptor agonists. In 2023, N-pyroladino, metronidazine, and N-pyroladino protonidazine emerged on the illicit opioid drug market. The abuse of these nidazines has been associated with several adverse events and toxicology cases in the United States. These nidazines currently have no accepted medical use in the United States. Effective February 11, 2026, the DEA permanently placed these nidazines in Schedule 1. We are bringing this forward to your consideration to schedule these substances in Schedule 1 in Nevada. And I also would like to mention this was a recommendation from our crime lab.
Great, thank you, Dr. Zarley. All right, before we turn it over to the board, I'll open it up for any public comment on this workshop item. If there's anyone in the room or online who wishes to make a comment regarding this item, please raise your hand or please come forward to the microphone.
No one on Zoom, Madam President.
Okay, and I don't see anyone in the room as well, so we'll turn it back to the board for discussion. This one appears to be very straightforward. I don't have any additional questions and I feel comfortable with the recommendation of changing the scheduling or scheduling the drugs.
Crystal Freitas, I don't have any additional questions, but either it is straightforward, so I'd move to approve the proposed amendment to the regulation as presented.
A second.
We have a motion by Ms. Freitas, a second by Ms. Taylor. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Moving on to 15A for public hearing.
And this is Darla Zarley for the record. This public hearing item can be found on page 4823 of your board book, which is LCB file R107-25. This regulation is adding dipentolone and 7 related fentanyl substances in Schedule 1. It was previously presented and approved by you at the December 2025 meeting. This proposed regulation has been reviewed and approved by LCB. Just to recap, these substances, dipentolone is a chemical substance that is structurally related to N-ethylpentylone. Diapentolone is a positional isomer to N-ethylpentylone, which is a hallucinogenic substance in Schedule 1 at 21 CFR 1308-11, subsection D86. Effective August 8th, 2025, the DEA permanently scheduled diapentolone in Schedule 1. Effective September 8th, 2025, the DEA permanently scheduled 7 fentanyl-related substances as Schedule 1 controlled substances under the Controlled Substance Act. DEA finds substantial evidence of potential for abuse for the following substances: parachlorophenol, orthochlorophenol, metachlorophenol, orthomethylcyclopropylphenol, beta-methylacetylphenol, tetrahydrothiochloronophenol, and parafluorovalorphenol. These 7 substances have no FDA-approved medical use and have not been investigated as new drugs. So to prevent harm to the public, we are bringing this public hearing item forward for your approval, adding these as Schedule 1 in Nevada.
Great, thank you. Again, we'll turn it over to the public for any public comment on this workshop or public hearing item. Do we have anyone in the room or online who wishes to make a public comment?
No one online, Madam President.
And I don't see anyone in the room as well, so we'll close the period of public comment on this item, and I'll turn it over to our board for board discussion. Again, this one seems very straightforward. I don't have any questions or concerns with moving it forward.
Adam Forth for the record, I would agree. I would move that we approve the regulation.
Crystal Freitas, second.
We have a motion by Mr. Porath, a second by Ms. Freitas. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Thank you so much. Okay, continuing on with our agenda, I'll call for 7B and 7B and 10B, Diafoot for MDEG and Diafoot for the wholesaler application. If we have representatives here or online, if you could please come forward. All right, hi, good morning. Will there be anyone online joining you? Okay, all right, well.
While we're waiting, they had the mic on, so you turned it off, which is fine. That's great. Perfect.
And then could you state your full name and title for the record?
Sarah Michelle Svensson, title is Chief Operating Officer for MD Administrative Facility Warehouse.
Thank you.
Not seeing anyone on line. Okay.
Is Jay Johnson, what do you know if he was planning on joining you today?
And another commitment, he's on a different time zone. Jake Josephson would be our CFO.
Okay.
Mm,
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Skylar.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and swear you in. If you could join me in raising your right hand, do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete? Okay, and you're comfortable moving forward at this time? Thank you. All right, Ms. Young.
Thank you, Madam President. This is Skylar Young for the board. Agenda item 7B, application for new owner and name change for medical products provider, and application for new owner name change for wholesaler. 7B starts on 4235 and 10B starts on 4538. Diafoot facility is located in Las Vegas, and I believe they have another location in Florida. Is that correct? And Ms. Simonson is the current MDEG and also the designated representative. So Ms. Simonson, can you speak on behalf of the company today?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been the MDEG administrator at Diafoot?
I was there last year. I made the application to be the current role, so it's about a year.
Were you an MDEG administrator prior to this? How did you become involved in Diafoot?
Our facility is in West Palm Beach, Florida. And we launched out 5 years ago to execute a West Coast fulfillment, to be on board to dispense diabetic shoes across country. And to be more accessible, we did our initial launching to come to Vegas. And then our realized nobody was helping the people here in town, so we opened up the facility and went through the process with the ABC board. And guys, to other board parts, that space.
Can you provide a summary of the ownership changes?
So essentially, we were recently bought out by Pacific Footwear, that's owned by Ann and I. So it's a simple change of just a growth model of executing the shoe program.
Will your staff stay the same?
Yes. Well, we'll expand.
And any changes to the policies and procedures? Can you tell us your duties as the current chief officer?
Yes, I sit down with the CFO and CEO just to have overall executive leadership with the company. Keeping them in compliance and overall site to make sure we're in alignment with the ABC board. And then just be on the ground, accepting, putting shoes on people's feet still, at a high level.
Will you guys, you're doing diabetic footwear, anything else expanding on new products?
Just the shoes. We do have a union contract with Culinary to dispense compression therapy as well, so we do have that.
Everything looks good to me. I've got no further questions.
I agree. This is Helen Park. I would have no issues with the ownership change, name change.
Do we need to deal with appearance with Jay and the letter of authority, or is that?
We should.
Yeah.
Because the authorized person on the application is Jay Johnson. That's why I was asking if you would attend. So since he's listed on the application as the one who signed it and the authorized person,
Would be willing to.
just after this meeting, if you could send us a letter or some kind of documentation that says he authorizes you to speak on his behalf.
It was actually, I think, the current ownership, Aaron, who's another operating officer, reached out to a member and asked if it was appropriate to me to speak on their behalf. So I think it went through Aaron.
It's very appropriate. We just, for record keeping, we'll just get a letter. So the Mark Cedar is the person. Yeah, so
You want me to issue a?
afterwards.
Yeah, just after.
I think this is straightforward. No questions for me either. So I do move to approve the name and ownership change and beg application for Diafoot. Should also include pending an LOA from Jay.
Yes.
Are we doing both?
Yes.
As well as the
And 7.
wholesaler application as well.
Great.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, a second by Mr. Porath. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, we'll go on to 7C for the Rehabit Wellness Castle. We have representatives here. Please come forward.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. If you could state your full name and title for the record, please.
Andrina Vasquez Sanchez, manager and owner of Rehab Wellness Castle.
Excellent. And will there be anyone joining you today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. If you could join me. All right. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Weist.
Thank you. Good morning, Dave Weiss for the record. In front of you, board, you have an application for a new medical product provider. It starts in your board book on 4250. It's located in Nevada. The name of the company is Rehab Wellness. It's a DBA, is operating as Rehab Wellness Castle. I'll ask about the castle in a minute. Curious. But I think you have a pretty a complete application in front of you. She's also listed her training, and that's nice to see that ahead of time. And she's got about 13 years working in the DMV at a licensed DME already. So the only real question I had, you have your wide range of services, respiratory services, and incontinence and other things. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you gonna have a respiratory therapist on staff?
I'm not moving that quickly yet,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna do oxygen.
Okay.
or respiratory.
BiPAPs or CPAPs?
Not at the moment.
Okay, if you change that, it would be okay. We just need to have a respiratory therapist license in Nevada that's either under contract or employed by you to
Yes.
set those things up. Okay, and then the hours are the most interesting thing to me. So you're 24 hours a day. So do you have a physical location that people can walk into?
Yes, sir.
And do you know the hours for that?
Yeah, 9 to 5.
Okay, so that you're not going to be there. It's not a total
Yeah,
Vegas
it's more
thing.
answering the phone.
Okay,
I-
you're just trying to tell us that you're going to be available all the time.
Yes, sir.
But 9 to 5, Monday through Friday is so that we have that for our records is
Yes, sir.
no Saturdays and Sundays or?
On Saturdays mostly,
Okay,
but definitely off Sundays.
just make sure that you update that if those hours change. Okay.
Well,
And then just, you can talk about your experience a little bit. I'm comfortable with it, but the board might want to hear.
My experience is in 2011, I discovered how to open up a medical supply company, so I opened up Amador Medical. And for the past 13 years, I've been basically consulting for their credentialing and licensing and working with patients on the front end for incontinence supplies, power wheelchairs, CPAP machines, hospital beds, and a multitude of other medical equipment. So my newest adventure is going to be catheter and neurological supplies. And that's what I'm studying right now, actually.
And diapers too, probably is part of that too. Okay.
Yes,
All right, sounds good. You did have a disclosure for a more recent DUI that was related to alcohol or controlled substance.
it was alcohol.
Yeah, no concerns about that. And that you haven't finished that out, but that's normally not anything that the board worries about too much.
It will be complete shortly.
Okay, sounds good. I have no further questions, Madam President. I'll turn it over to you.
Right. I don't have any other questions. I think you, Mr. Weiss covered all of the areas. I was curious about where the recent DUI settled at, but you included some updated information and so I am comfortable with the questions I have, but Mr. Weiss didn't finish his castle question, so yeah, that was the only thing that was hanging.
Yes, your question.
You're
It's actually in a castle. It's Vegas.
Yes,
Okay.
I intend to make it. Yes.
Figured as much.
all right. That's it for me.
Yeah, Crystal Freitas, I'm comfortable with her history and her experience as well. So I'd move to approve a new MDEG application for a rehab wellness castle.
Adam Forsyth.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Freitas, a second by Mr. Porath. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll go to item 8B for Capital Care Pharmacy. We have representatives here or online for Capital Care Pharmacy. Please come forward or raise your hand.
Hi, good morning. I'm here for Capital Care Pharmacy. My name is Mark.
Hi, Mark. Will there be anyone else joining you today?
No, it's just me.
Just you. Okay, that's all right. I'm gonna swear you in. Or actually, could you state your full name again for the record?
My full name is Mark Christopher Yu.
All right, and Mr. Yu, if you could join me in raising your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Long.
Thank you, Madam President. Yan Long for the record. So Mr. Yu, my name is Yan. I'm a board staff member. I'm gonna walk the board members through your application, which begins on page 4293 of the board book. So Capital Care Pharmacy is a licensed pharmacy with the Board of Pharmacy under license number PH 04563. And they are appearing before you today because they are applying for ownership change, and the new owner is Mr. Yu, it looks like. And so Mr. Yu, it looks like from your application that the pick will be Kimberly Estorino, and she's been the pick since April of 2025. Is that correct? Will she still be the
Yes.
pick?
Yes, she will be. There will be no staff changes
Okay,
during the
so no,
transition.
okay, perfect. And Mr. Yu, it looks like you are a licensed pharmacy technician as well with the Board of Pharmacy. Will you be operating as a pharmacy technician for the pharmacy still as the new owner?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And Mr. Yu, why did you decide to acquire Capital Care Pharmacy?
Actually, my old partner decided that she wanted to stay in the East Coast. She's never been involved anyway since the inception of the company. It's always been me. So there will be no changes on anything. So because she decided to retire and stay in the East Coast, so I'm just
Okay,
keeping her shares.
okay, I
Yeah.
see. And how long have you've been with Capital Care Pharmacy since the inception of the pharmacy, is that correct?
Yes, since inception, which was 2023.
Okay, okay, great. Um, let's see here. And other than Miss Astorino, will there be any other pharmacists employed at the pharmacy?
No, on and off we have per diem pharmacist that comes in during the weekends, but
Okay.
besides that, it's gonna be her.
Okay. And any changes to the services that will be provided by Capital Care Pharmacy?
No, it's still gonna be the same.
Okay, and you won't be engaging in like sterile compounding, anything like that?
No, not not really.
And are you involved in the day-to-day operations of the pharmacy currently, and will you be doing that in the future as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And it looks like your pharmacy was recently inspected in February of this year. Any issues noted that you had to resolve?
No, no, there was no issue noted during that visit.
Okay. And it looks like, Mr. Yu, as the owner, you will also be the designated representative for the pharmacy. Is that correct?
Yes, I will be.
Okay. And I do want to point the board's attention to the designated representative application on page 4318 of the board book. So to be a designated representative for a pharmacy, the representative must have 6,000 hours of employment in a pharmacy or wholesaler in a
Mhm.
capacity related to the dispensing and distribution of and record keeping related to prescription drugs. Mr. Yu, do you feel that you have the required 6,000 hours of employment?
Yes, ma'am. I have more than 8 years of experience doing it.
Okay, more than 8 years. Yeah, you mentioned in your application that you worked as the manager and technician for Capital Care Pharmacy. It says from 2024 of February to present,
Mhm.
which provided you 1,600 hours of experience.
Yeah.
And then you also worked for Trinity Pharmacy LLC from 2018 to 2024 as the
Mhm.
pharmacy manager and admin manager. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you weren't licensed as a technician at that time because you gained licensure as a technician, it looks like, in 2024. So what did you
Mhm.
do for Trinity from 2018 to 2023? You weren't licensed as a technician. So can
Yeah.
you describe your role?
Basically, I oversee all aspect of the pharmacy operation, including managing the pharmacy staff, HR duties, monitoring the inventory levels, and maintaining compliance with all, applicable laws and regulations. And I make sure that insurance contracts are maintained well as during those times.
Okay. And I believe you. I looked through some of the Trinity information. They've been licensed with us since 2015, and you weren't mentioned in any of the inspections or any of the
Hmm.
applications. And so if we were to contact Trinity, we can verify your employment with Trinity during that time frame.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was working at the back office,
Okay.
technically I wasn't involved in dispensing medication. That's why during inspection, my name is not technically there.
Yeah, and I believe that. And you
Mhm.
wouldn't be listed because you're not a technician, but I just went through the information in their file and you weren't mentioned anywhere. So I just wanted to make
Mhm.
sure. So you didn't deal with prescriptions per se. You did HR, you managed the staff.
Mhm.
And so you weren't actually in the pharmacy department in terms of dispensing or distributing any drugs, right?
Yes, but I was the one doing the, approving the purchasing, HR, daily operations related things at the back
Okay.
office.
Okay. Um, I think that's all the questions I have for Mr. Yu. I'll turn it over to the board. I do want to point out to the board that his experience with Trinity may not qualify for the 6,000 hours of employment in the pharmacy, but I'll leave it up to the board to make that decision. So I'll turn it over to the board for any additional questions.
Mhm.
Add point for the record, this is a question for board staff. Given the issue with the hours related to the designated representative, it seems like it would be possible for the pharmacist to fulfill that role. Would we entertain a application that with an updated designated representative?
Yeah, I'll leave it for Yen.
Yes, I think that is very possible until Mr. Yu has the experience through his role as a pharmacy technician. I think transferring the designated representative role to the pharmacist, who likely has the 6,000 hours of experience, would be the best way to get this application through, just because his experience with Trinity, although it's an HR, it doesn't really quite, to me, relate to dispensing and distributing drugs. I think he has great experience, but it's just not relating to dispensing, distributing of drugs. So I think that in the meantime, he can gain that experience through working as a pharmacy technician, while the pharmacist is in that designated representative role. We wouldn't
How's that sound, Mr.
need a new
Yu?
application. What was that, Mr.
I was
Pearl?
asking Mr. Yu if that's something that you'd be willing to do. Resend in an application with the pharmacist as the designated representative.
Oh, I can do that.
And one more question for you, Mr. Yu. I know that the pharmacist isn't here and you worked in the pharmacy for quite some time. Because it is your pharmacy now, will you have key access to the pharmacy to do any work in the pharmacy?
No, only the pharmacist has access to the pharmacy, especially the dispensing area.
Okay,
So
great.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I just have one request, Adam, that if you don't tie it to that pharmacist, because they may not want to, so just say a qualified person, and Yen will make the call if that works for you.
And we can certainly, whoever the board decides, the board staff can review any new applications, and if it looks sufficient, we can issue a license or do the ownership change, I guess.
Okay, Ms. Davenport, I would move that we approve the ownership change for Capital Care Pharmacy pending a clean application, new qualified designated representative, and favorable inspection.
Ms. Taylor, a second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Porath, a second by Ms. Taylor. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. All right, Mr. Yu, we wish you the best.
thank you so much.
Okay, we'll continue on with agenda item 8C, and that is for Community Reach Pharmacy. So if you are online, please raise your hand on Zoom or press *6 if you are on your phone.
This is Joe Montemurno, pharmacist in charge. Sam will be joining us shortly via phone.
Okay, we'll give them a moment.
Oh, it should be on as Alex, but I don't see him. He just texted me. He said he's on as Alex, but I don't think he's on as a participant. I can't see him on the right-hand side here. Hold on, he should be here. Let me see if I can find him. 213, there it is.
Give us the last 4 digits of the phone, please.
7453.
Hey, Alex, we've asked you to unmute yourself. Go ahead and try to speak.
Hello.
Great, we could hear you.
Oh,
All right,
thank
so
you
if
so
I
much.
could- If I could have you both state your full name and titles for the record, and then I'll swear you in.
My name is Joseph Montemurano, pharmacist in charge.
Yes, Alexander Bagdasarian, owner.
Okay, excellent. If you could both join me in raising your right hands. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. One is Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Madam President. It's the complete application in front of you, but a little confusing to me. So under the application types, it looks like to me they've checked new pharmacy, ownership change, name change, and then they provided that you have in front of you a manager change. So we're just going to have to dig into this and see exactly what they're after to do. I think in talking to the licensing, it's really an ownership change. But I'll pose that question for Alex. You're the owner. So what are you attempting to do with this application?
Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I filled it out incorrectly, but
You saw boxes and you started checking them.
maybe. So I'm purchasing Goodwill Pharmacy, and I'd like to take over as a new owner and then change it to a different company, but just have the license transfer. So I don't retain the older company that stays with the previous owner. That's why I put name change to Community Reach Pharmacy. And then the pharmacist in charge that was on the application has left, and now Joseph was hired on as the new pharmacist in charge. That just happened this week.
So tracked mostly with that, but the only place you kind of lost me was, you're buying the pharmacy, correct?
Yes, Goodwill
And
Pharmacy.
you're taking over Goodwill Pharmacy?
Yes.
And Goodwill Pharmacy, as it existed before in name, will cease to exist, and then it'll be called Community Reach Pharmacy?
Yes.
So there'll be no Goodwill Pharmacy anymore?
Not as a licensed pharmacy, no. The
Perfect.
previous
Okay,
owner
so-
will keep a corporation, yeah.
Okay, that's where I lost you. He's gonna keep the corporation, but the corporation's not gonna own the pharmacy anymore.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so you'll have the same pharmacy number and you'll leverage that. Okay, sounds good. And so I guess for Joe, why don't you tell the board, because you're new to this and you're not listed anywhere on this application, which is perfectly fine, but you're gonna be the manager, Joe?
Yes, sir.
And what's your experience as a managing pharmacist in Nevada?
In Nevada, I have 5 years, but I have 43 years as a pharmacist, starting in New York, staff model HMOs, community care, pharmacies, on to chain retail, grocery store models. Probably pharmacy management experience for big box chain stores, I'd say combined 25 years.
Okay, and how do you know Alex?
I know Alex from previous times. I interviewed with him when I was working for a specialty pharmacy where we did a lot of specialty medications. And at that time, I declined to join. But recently, because I'm semi-retired, because of my age, 43 years as a pharmacist puts you up there in years, I thought this was a really good opportunity.
Okay, and have you been into the current Goodwill Pharmacy location?
Yes, I've visited twice, and I kind of did my own audit based on what I know or some SOPs, and everything seems to be in order.
That was my next question. Did you have any concerns when you saw it?
No, they had an inspection by Joe Dodge that I know well from previous inspections. He was there in October, and I guess things went very well. There was nothing brought up. But I also do a lot of my own personal audits that I'll be doing. But I saw nothing out of order when I was there, when I was asking a lot of questions. So,
Okay, great. And for Alex, what's your background, Alex?
Yes, sir. It's business, and I just closed. Well, I sold my pharmacy in Poway, California, which is in San Diego. It actually just closed last week, and now I'm ready to move on to this new venture here in Las Vegas.
Okay. Did you sign a non-compete with the other company?
Just in a 5-mile radius
That's
of San
okay.
Diego.
That was my point, that you're outside of that, so you're gonna start. Okay. And then talk to us about the pharmacy that was in San Diego.
Yes,
What
it
kind
was
of
just
things
the
did you do?
same model, a retail community pharmacy in a medical building, small. And we just serviced the clients, the providers and the patients there. And I had that for a couple of years. And then we just decided, wanted to sell it. We got a good offer. So we went ahead and did that.
Yeah, it's a business model that works. So, and then did you have any administrative actions or discipline in California for that pharmacy?
No, everything was clear with the state board and with all the insurance companies. Yeah, everything was fine. There was never any issues.
Okay, I have no further questions. I'll thank Mark Cedar and the licensing staff for helping me get through that.
I don't have any additional questions as well. Would feel comfortable moving forward with this application.
Will the new pick be the new designated representative? Because it looks like the old pick is put on the application as the designated person.
Yes, correct. He will be replacing him as the pharmacist in charge and the manager.
Yeah, to your point, we will I guess we do have Joseph, so I apologize for that. We do have Joseph. So if we could just put that on the record, we'll make sure that paperwork gets filled out before we approve them. Thank you, Crystal.
Okay, so Crystal Freitas, I'd move to approve pharmacy ownership change and name change for Community Reach Pharmacy pending the completion of the updated designated representative form. And section?
It's ownership change doesn't have to do an inspection. We could, if you want.
No. Just the updated designated representative form.
I'm with you. I always think it does, but Mark tells me it doesn't.
Denise Taylor, I second.
We have a motion by Ms. Freitas, a second by Ms. Taylor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. All right, we wish you all the best with your pharmacy.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Madam President, can we take a quick break? Is that possible?
Sure. We'll take a quick break. Okay, we're going to continue on with our Board of Pharmacy meeting with agenda item 8E for Nevada Care Pharmacy. If we have representatives here for Nevada Care Pharmacy, please raise your hand on Zoom. Oh, we got some hands. Hi.
Hi.
All right, if I could have, well, give me just a moment here. You beat me to my paperwork. All right. If I could have each of you state your full name and titles for the record.
Hi, I'm Richard Nguyen. I'm the pharmacy manager at Nevada Care Pharmacy.
I'm Talia Sokol. I'm the past owner, or going to be. I'm Guadalupe Sokol. I'm the pharmacy technician. I'm the new one.
Great. I'm going to swear you all in together, but I need a verbal affirmation from each of you. Yep, if you could join me in raising your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, I will turn it over to Ms. Young.
Thank you, Madam President. This is Skylar Young for the board. Agenda item 8E starts on page 4371 of the board book. Application for ownership change for Nevada Care Pharmacy located in Las Vegas. And I appreciate the previous owner being here. That's great. Can you guys first, both Sokols, just explain the sale of the pharmacy and how you guys are related?
Yeah, this is my mom. She's the one that really got me to go into pharmacy and my endeavors into it. I'm just looking to do some other stuff, kind of going out of state and stuff. And with her years of experience, over 26 years of pharmacy, I'm just ready to pass it on over to her and just look into other things that I want to do as far as my career.
Talia, will you be involved in the pharmacy at all?
Little bit. I'm really trying to fully transition myself out of it. But in the meantime, it's still a little bit now. I do have my pharmacy tech intern license, to kind of just help out here and there, but I'm trying to establish it fully that I am not needed anymore.
And the DEA number, is that your current DEA number, Talia, or Guadalupe's?
Yeah, that's still mine. This is still the first process of us transitioning everything over. So the DA is still under myself, but it will also be switched over.
She's gonna have to probably apply for her own DEA number. They're not transferable.
Correct, yes.
Okay, very good. Guadalupe, have you ever owned a business before?
I'm going to help her with a little bit of the translate sometime. Yeah, the English is my second language and I'm trying, okay? Dice que si ha sido dueña de una farmacia. No, no business owner before.
Why does she want to own this pharmacy?
Okay, quiere ser dueña. Porque este ha sido mi sueño siempre y he trabajado muchos años en esto, en este mundo. This has always been a dream of her. She's been a pharmacy technician for a very long time, and it's kind of finally a dream come true for her.
Will she be working as a pharmacy technician within the pharmacy?
Yeah, she's a licensed pharmacy technician for over 20 years. I mean, I'm 26. She had experience in Cuba too. And she also is her PTCB.
Okay, very good. Will there be any big changes with this ownership change to the pharmacy?
No.
Will you keep the existing staff?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for Mr. Nguyen, you've been a pharmacist since March of 2021. Are you currently working at US Pharmacy?
No.
Can you explain your role at US Pharmacy? Was that your prior job before this new position?
Yeah, that was my prior job. So basically, I'm going full time at Nevada Care Pharmacy now.
Have you been a managing pharmacist before?
Before this put one, no.
Are you familiar with the day-to-day operations of the pharmacy?
Yes.
Will you be working with any compounding products?
No.
What will the staff, I do see that there's another pharmacist here, Christina Kim. Will she be working with you as well?
So right now, because we're switching over to Richard being full-time, at the moment, we're just gonna have her per diem until we can increase our hours.
And what will the staff then look like with Mr. Nguyen, and then would it be Guadalupe working the pharmacy together?
Correct. We have Guadalupe. We've also partnered with a nearby school that is allowing for pharmacy tech interns to come in. They complete a couple of hours online. They get certified and do that thing, and then they complete 130 hours here with us. So we'll be having that, but we'll also be hiring another staff once I'm fully out as a pharmacy tech.
Will the language barrier be difficult between Mr. Nguyen and Guadalupe?
No, they understand each other very well. My mom is a lot easier to understand the English, maybe when she's not a little bit anxious. And Richard's Spanish is really good. With all the other independent pharmacies that he's worked at, he's been able to understand a lot more.
Very good. I have no further questions.
I don't have any additional questions as well.
I don't either. I would move that we approve ownership change for Nevada Care Pharmacy.
Crystal Freitas, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Porath, a second by Ms. Freitas. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. All right, we wish you all the best with your ownership change.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, we'll continue with 8, and that's QHR Pharmacy. If we have representatives here from QHR Pharmacy, if you could please let us know, raise your hand or
Yeah.
let us know in the chat.
Hi, my name is Kevin Cabrillo Prieto. I'm the owner of QHR.
And I'm Lucia Bertrand. I'm the representative in Pharmacy Tech.
Okay, excellent. Will there be anyone else joining you today?
That'll be all.
All right, I'm going to swear you both in together, but I need a verbal affirmation from each of you. If you could join me in raising your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, Ms. Young.
Thank you, Madam President. This is Stella Young for the board. Agenda item 8F starts on page 4392 of the board book. This is an application for ownership change of QHR Pharmacy located in Las Vegas. I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions about the ownership change. I'll start with you, Mr. Prieto. Are you currently in Las Vegas?
Yes.
So are you still working at Fenwick and West?
Yes, I am. I'm currently a student at UC Berkeley studying business, but I live in Las Vegas and my entire family is here, so I'm back often.
Will you continue to work at Fenwick and West?
It's a spring internship, so it ends in May 14th.
Okay, thank you. Is this the your first business purchase?
Yes.
And why do you want to own a pharmacy here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so my parents started a pharmacy, and I've been working, in one since I was 17 years old. And I feel like the business opportunity came up, and I think as a business student and someone that's passionate about entrepreneurship, I think it was a great opportunity.
And it looks like you and Miss Beltran both worked at US Pharmacy, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that how you guys know each other?
Yes.
How are you guys related? Is there any relationship there? Just work colleagues?
Yeah, we're good.
Will you make any big changes to the pharmacy?
No.
You'll keep the existing staff?
Yeah.
Ms. Beltran, do you currently work at QHR Pharmacy?
Yes, I do.
Can you kind of tell us your employment history as a technician?
Well, I graduated as a technician in 2013 in Texas. I worked there like 2 years and then moved up to Nevada and moved to Nevada in the 15 and I started licensed technician in the 16 and I've been working in different pharmacies since then to QHR.
Do you have any other duties, day-to-day duties at the pharmacy outside of technician?
Sorry?
Will you be doing anything outside of your technician duties day-to-day at the pharmacy?
Well, pharmacy technician lead and also looking at everything and being compliance and through the board or insurance compliance along with the PIC.
So I do want to bring, the board's aware of the DEA visiting you guys a couple weeks ago. Can you kind of tell the board what happened and why that happened?
So we submit the new application to the DEA and they came and put everything on hold until the new DEA application is complete. That is almost complete.
Okay, so the DEA number that you currently have in your application belongs to the prior owner?
Exactly, yeah. So
And when they came, did they take the controlled substances or did they?
no,
secure them there?
it's on hold under his supervision.
Okay, have they visited you or spoken to you since taking the drugs?
Sorry?
Have they contacted you since they came to the pharmacy, the DEA, anyone from the DEA?
No, they haven't contacted us, but I think we are almost receiving the new DEA number and everything, so everything will be continued.
Sounds good. I have no further questions.
Ms. Beltran, can you expand, or Mr. Prieto expand on how the controlled substances are under Mr. Prieto's supervision? What does that mean?
So the previous, the previous owner should had make the change, the DEA, he didn't do it. So DEA number was on the previous owner there, Molly, and then Molly make, how's it called, like, as,
Power of attorney.
power attorney under him, that way he's, responsible for all the controls
Where are the controls right now?
in the safe on Seal Bank,
And who has access to them?
only the big.
Who's your pick?
Emma can.
And will Emma continue to be the managing pharmacist?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, just for the board, the DA does it slightly different than you, so that they kind of give them a grace period where they can do a transition with you. Of course, they need your license before they would get the new DEA registration. So they allow them to do through a power of attorney and an agreement, like 90 days to be able to, I think the date's 90 days. They can ask for an extension of that. So they kind of, that it gives them the time to settle up with you. That makes sense?
Great.
I'd like to add, I did speak to a DEA agent and so did board staff, and they are being completely compliant. No issues.
Great, thank you.
Shanice Taylor, for the record, I have no concerns, especially being the clarification received as far as the medications being under control for Emma.
I do have.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. So on Emma's managing pharmacist application, there was a note of previous discipline with the board. Do we know the details of that?
Briefly, I did look into it. It was a misfill and she was compliant.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Great.
I don't have any other questions.
Awesome. So I do move to approve the ownership change application for QHR Pharmacy.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, a second by Mr. Porath. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. All right. Your application has been approved. Thank you. Okay. We'll continue on with agenda item 9A for Orion Specialty Labs LLC. So if we have any representatives here for Orion, if you could please let us know, we'll have your line unmuted.
It's *9 or raise your hand if you're here for Orion. And raise your hand in the bottom left-hand side of the Zoom screen. Not seeing anybody, Madam President. If you want to go to the next one, we can call them a little bit later, I guess.
All right, we'll continue on then with agenda item 10A for Cadre Distribution Inc. If we have representatives online, if you could please let us know. I believe we do.
Yes, my name is Jonathan Acker from Cadre, and we have a couple of others as well.
Okay, how many other people are you expecting?
2 others, I believe they're both on, Richard and Armin.
Okay.
Hi there. This is Armin Vartanian. I'm the designated representative.
Thank you.
The other one is Richard Lafregola, if you can unmute him as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm here.
Okay. All right. So if I could have each of you state your full name and titles for the record, and if you could go in the same order that you got online.
My name is Jonathan Acker. I'm the Chief Operating Officer.
Thank you.
Armin Vartanian. I am the designated representative.
Thank you.
And my name is Richard Lafregola. I'm the president.
Thank you so much. I'm going to swear you all in together. I just need a verbal affirmation from each of you. You could join me in raising your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes.
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 Thank you so much. With that, I will turn it over to Ms. Young.
Thank you, Madam President. Whoops. Thank you, Madam President. This is Skelly Young for the board. Agenda item 10A starts on page 4477 of the board book. It's an application for a new wholesaler location here in Las Vegas, serving dentists with medical devices. I'm going to ask each of you guys some questions on the business. And first, for Richard and Jonathan, can you guys tell us a little bit about your backgrounds?
Yes, Rich and I are very similar. We've worked together nearly our whole careers. We spent about the last 19 years in the dental technology space, selling, supporting, and doing training and installation for dental tech devices like 3D scanners, 3D printers, milling machines, and things like that, high-tech equipment for dentists. With a company called Patterson Dental for around 11 years, and then we started this company about 5 years ago in Nevada.
Thank you. As far as starting it 5 years ago in Nevada, why now are you guys applying for a wholesaler license? I did see that you guys you applied for a license for Nevada in 2021. I did start to Armin about this. Can you explain sort of the changes from when you guys started your business 5 years ago until what it is today?
Really haven't been any changes. We're just being proactive, and someone along the line had mentioned to us this is something we should look into. We're not exactly sure if this is even required based on how we do business. We really don't do a ton of business in Nevada, although our corporate headquarters is there. We started doing more business in Nevada as of late, so we wanted to be fully compliant with every state that we do business in. So someone had suggested we take this route, and so here we are.
Can you describe the business model then? You guys marked virtual wholesaling.
Yep, exactly. We sell mostly via e-commerce dental devices and provide all the support and training for those devices. By the way, we mostly drop ship everything from our manufacturers, so we don't warehouse anything, nothing at all in Nevada. And so we sell these devices kind of as a pass-through entity. We're a virtual wholesaler for sure. And we do all of that training and support for the customers as well once they receive the equipment.
What does the office look like here in Las Vegas? Who's working there?
Nobody. It's a co-working space and a classroom. So our whole team is remote. We have a classroom there that we every now and then run some training classes for our clients through. But it's really just a place to collect our mail and to have classes in every now and then. There's no full-time employees there.
Is this your only physical location?
It is.
Who are your suppliers? Who are you guys working with?
Yeah, a company's called 3Shape, who's a big dental device manufacturer. A company called Medit, who's a dental device manufacturer. A company called Shining 3D, who's a dental device manufacturer, and about 10 other smaller dental device manufacturers.
Are you aware of, are these manufacturers licensed with the Board of Pharmacy here in Nevada?
I don't know. I'd imagine they are. These are big multinational corporations, but I can't comment on that. I have not done that research and I don't know. I can tell you they sell their devices through many distribution channels in the state of Nevada, and so I'd imagine they're fully compliant, but I cannot comment otherwise.
Are you guys essentially kind of the middleman then, the third party
Yeah, it's
organizing the sales?
That's exactly right. We actually started more of a marketing company for these types of companies, these manufacturers, and we've gotten into direct sales more and more. And so we're just making sure that we're compliant. And Nevada being our home state, a bunch of other licenses hinder on this as well.
When did the direct sales start?
In the state of Nevada,
Yeah.
around 2021, but it was very minimal.
I can pass the question to the board.
Board members, questions?
Just had a couple. If nobody had anything, you go first? Oh, okay. Just two things first. I think you do need to be licensed, so I'm glad that you are, from what you're saying. Two, it's your responsibility to make sure that the other people are licensed when you're passing through them. So just make sure you get a copy of their licensure. If we can help you with it, so you can get a hold of me, Dave Weist at the Board of Pharmacy. If you are, if the transactions happen in a different state, so say just say it starts at Smiling, whatever, and then it goes to somebody like Patterson, and then Patterson's doing it, then they wouldn't need to be licensed in the other state. But if they're part of the transaction directly into the state, then they would need to be licensed. So that's the nuance there. We can help you with that, and we would be relying on you making sure that they are licensed. The second thing is you might be similar, but you're very dissimilar in your backgrounds that you put up on Zoom.
That's very true. Yeah, you got the dog sleeping back there.
I don't think you're as similar. The dog is not impressed with us.
No.
I don't think you're as similar as you think you are. I'll turn it back over to the board.
All right, I don't have any further questions.
I don't either. Adam Port, for the record, I move that we approve the wholesaler application for Cabaret Distribution Inc.
Crystal Freitas, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Porath, a second by Ms. Freitas. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. All right, we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think Orion is on, Madam President, if you want, or at least one person.
We'll circle back. A for Orion Specialty Labs LLC. Okay, do we have anyone online for Orion?
Yes, there should be two of us. There's John Hartwig and Kimberly Matera. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, John, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sounds
Great.
good.
Just the two of you then?
Yeah, well, we have our pharmacist in charge will be on site present in the office there within minutes. So if you don't mind, if we could be pushed back a couple more. and wait
Yes,
till
he's
there.
physically going to be there.
Okay, we can circle back to your agenda item.
Thank you.
Sure,
Thank
no
you.
problem. Okay, so we will then go to 10C and 10D. That's for Stryker Orthopedics in Las Vegas and Reno. If we have representatives from Stryker, if you could please let us know. We'll have your lines unmuted.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, I could hear you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Santos, Senior Project Associate with Stryker. And with me, I also have Shane Scheidel, Regulatory Affairs Manager.
Hello. Hi. Will anyone else be joining you too?
No, just the two of us.
Okay, I'm going to swear you both in. Join me in raising your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. And with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Long.
Thank you, Madam President. This is for Stryker Orthopedic, located in Las Vegas and in Reno. The applications take place on page 4569 and 4619 of the board book. So my name is Yan. I'm a board staff member. I'm going to walk the board members through your application, and I have some questions for you. So Stryker, which goes by How Medica Osteonics Corporation, doing business as Stryker Orthopedic, is applying for a wholesale license for their Las Vegas and Reno location. They mark that they are a non-publicly traded company, and both locations will be supplying medical devices, equipment, and supplies to hospitals and ambulatory surgical centers. Both applications are very similar, except that they have different designated representatives and MDEG administrators. So they are appearing before the board today as they are a new company in Nevada, but they also have a bit of a history with the Board of Pharmacy, and I'll walk the board through that history as well. So I do see here, Ms. Santos, you are the authorized person for both applications. Can you describe a little bit of the ownership structure to me? I know that you provide some information regarding Howmedica Osteonics, but can you kind of describe the ownership structure?
Yes, so we're applying for this license under Howmedica Osteonics, and they will be doing business as Stryker Orthopedics, which is Howmedica is an entity of Stryker Corporation.
Okay, so is Howmedica like 100% of the owner of the Stryker business?
Howmedica is 100% wholly owned by Stryker Corp.
Okay, okay. And Ms. Santos, you did mention that you will be providing devices and equipments to hospitals and ambulatory surgical centers. Can you describe the devices you will be supplying to these hospitals and surgical centers?
They are medical implants for elbow, knees, shoulders, and instrumental kits.
Okay, thank you. And why do you guys want a wholesale business? Why do you guys want a Stryker business in Nevada? I noticed that you guys are located in other states.
We are, and we have 2 sites there that we are looking to be compliant with the Nevada state laws to distribute and meet the orthopedic medical device needs within the healthcare hubs in the area.
Okay, and how long have you guys been operating in Nevada?
So in Reno, we've been there since 2005 and Las Vegas since 2020.
Okay. Will you be shipping products, these types of prescription products to other states out from Nevada, from your Nevada location?
No, we get all of our products to distribute to Nevada from our already licensed location with Howmedica in Mahwah, New Jersey.
Okay. And how will you advertise your business here in Nevada?
I would need more information from our marketing team for that. If the board requires, I can provide something in written form.
Yeah, it's just a question I have. I'm just curious because, you know, there are other types of businesses that sell similar equipment. So I just wanted to know how you guys will actually solicit business. It's not required for you to answer it right now. If I really want to answer, I'll have you guys supply it through an email.
And can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you have sales reps, right? You have sales reps that are employed by the company.
Yes.
And then your company is one of the biggest companies in the market. So you have like name recognition with your products. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions, Mr.
No,
Weiss?
thank you. Yes.
All right. So yeah, Stryker is licensed with other states. And we had some issues with the Stryker in Arizona. Are you familiar with the issues that the Nevada Board of Pharmacy had with the Arizona location?
I know that we had some actions, but I don't have the full scope of exactly what that was.
Okay.
I would have to.
Is the Arizona location licensed in Arizona currently? They're functioning?
I know that we are, yes. Whatever the issue was resolved and we're permitted there.
Okay,
So
perfect.
just to clarify that, the Stryker sustainability, I think, is what you're referring to. And that was actually heard on the board meeting yesterday, I believe. So we don't have the outcome of that just yet, but we're anticipating hopefully receiving licensure post that meeting.
And do you plan to have the Arizona location in Tempe licensed with Nevada Board of Pharmacy?
That's the one that was heard on yesterday's meeting.
Oh, are you talking? Oh, so yesterday's meeting, meaning our meeting?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All
Probably
right.
on the consent agenda. I
I was
think
on
they
the
are
consent
licensed
agenda.
with
I
us.
did
Yeah,
not
I
do
think.
that. Okay. All right.
And do you want to give a quick background? I think they're
Yeah,
compliant with us, but again, I'll give a background just to
Yeah.
remind the board of what happened. And it happened to them in Arizona and Nevada at the same time. So I think it was a little confusing, but again, I'll give a quick background of it.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
are compliant with us.
Yeah, so in July of 2022, the Stryker Sustainability Solutions in Tempe, Arizona, you guys received a cease and desist and cite and fine of $5,000 for unlicensed activities. Our inspectors found invoices from Stryker from Arizona in our ambulatory surgical centers and our hospitals. Stryker did pay that fine in 2022. Subsequent to that, on March of 2023, we found that the same location was still engaged in unlicensed activities in Nevada. We sent them a cease and desist and cite and fine for another $5,000. Stryker paid that in 2023 of April. And then later in 2024, Stryker further failed to comply with the cease and desist order and was found to have continued to ship prescription-only medical devices into Nevada, even after receiving the previous 2 cite and fines and cease and desist. Therefore, in February of 2024, Stryker received a third cease and desist cite and fine for $48,000, $1,000 for each of the 48 invoices found at hospital and surgery centers by the inspector, and that fine was paid by Stryker. So that was the history that we have with Stryker. I didn't notice that you guys mentioned any of that in your application. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but that was your history with the Board of Pharmacy in Nevada. Does that seem familiar to you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other action against Stryker? Because I didn't see that you listed any administrative action. I do recall that Arizona had some issues with Stryker, and I believe Kansas did as well. Any other history you guys need to report to the Nevada Board of Pharmacy regarding Stryker as a company?
Yes, there has been prior disciplinary action involving the Helmetica, New Jersey site with other states. When we saw administrative action, we didn't realize that also included the disciplinary action. So if that seems incorrect, we would like to correct it to yes, we have had disciplinary actions with other states.
Yeah, we would like to know your full scope of disciplinary actions with other states. It wasn't provided in your application. So yes, we will need that information.
I'm happy to send that in an email. I mean, there's a lot of documents, as you can imagine. So is that okay if we send that post this meeting? Okay.
Absolutely. And you can get in touch with Mark Cedar at the, he's head of licensing, but you can also contact me after the board. So then I want to point the board's attention to the MDEG administrator application and the designated representative application for the Las Vegas location. You mentioned that you guys have been in operation since 2005, I believe, in Las Vegas, and 2020 in Reno. Is that correct?
Reno 2005 and Las Vegas 2020.
Okay, I got them swapped. Okay. Were you guys supplying the same equipment during that time, or what were you guys doing since that time? Because you haven't been licensed with us. So you guys have been open for a prolonged period of time without license with us. So can you kind of describe what you were doing during that time?
Yeah, we have been supplying the same equipment, and these are sites that are part of a larger enterprise, and we're actively pursuing the licensing as we complete our full portfolio with the Nevada applications. And the facilities distribute products from our already licensed site, manufacturing site in Mahwah, New Jersey.
But you guys had the equipment here in Reno and in Las Vegas, right? You guys were distributing from the Reno and Las Vegas location?
Yes.
Okay. And I know you guys are getting a license now, which is great, but were you not aware that you had to get a license with us when you started your business in 2020?
From back then, I'm not sure, but I know that we've been actively pursuing to make sure that we're compliant with Nevada as we continue with the licensing in Mahwah, New Jersey.
Okay, great, thank you. So
yeah, can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
Can I add? So I just looked it up. So I think Stryker's, I know they've had some changes in their compliance department through the years. And I think that my determination was like they missed it, right? So they just weren't, they didn't realize that what they were doing required a license, and they're in the process of vamping that up. So they currently have 9 locations licensed with us from different states here. I think there'll probably be more. So they're working through the process. of getting licensed. And I think this is what's in front of us today, is that they're catching up for all the things. And they have received a cite and fine from us for the one location, but there probably were more locations. But that's the one that we had evidence and could document. So thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Mr. East. So going to the MDIG administrator application for the Las Vegas location, looks like a William Wakefield will be the MDIG administrator and the designated representative. The MDIG administrator application takes place on page 4583 of the board book. Mr. Wakefield mentioned and provided that he has the experience to be an MDIG administrator, which requires 1,500 hours of verifiable work experience relating to the products provided by the company. And so that looks good, but there were some discrepancies between his MDIG administrator application experience and the designated representative application. He mentioned in the MDIG administrator application, he worked for Stryker from March 2020 to current on a full-time basis as the operations inventory team lead. Which was then slightly different from his designated representative application, which showed that he worked for Stryker from 2017 to 2025. And I wanted to ask Mr. Wakefield, I know he's not here today, why there are some discrepancies regarding that time frame of when he worked for Stryker. I don't know if you guys can answer that question for him, but that was my question for Mr. Wakefield.
We can follow up if the board allows with a written response in case there might have been some role change within the company that might have caused a confusion.
Yeah, and it looks like based on what he listed, he does have the necessary hours. Unfortunately, because Stryker wasn't licensed with us during that time of employment, that can determine or change whether or not that is qualified hours. I know you guys didn't know you guys needed to be licensed, and you guys are working through that. So we'll have to, the board members will have to weigh that. And then it looks like Mr. Dwight Foreman is listed as the MDIG administrator and designated representative for the Reno location. Similar, he has the required experience and hours, it looks like, for that role. But because of the fact that you guys weren't licensed during that time, that experience may or may not be qualified. So that would be something that the board members will have to weigh. I don't have any additional questions for you. I'll turn it over to the board members for any additional questions.
Yeah, and do you have a recommendation related to that? Do you wanna, that's something that's, I understand exactly what you're saying. And so I think the question that Jens posing to you more directly is, they may qualify, but they weren't licensed. And how do you feel about that? So I think however you move forward, and I think it's well within your authority to decide how you want to handle it. You can have it tabled and they can bring that information back and you can weigh it at that particular time. You can say that those hours qualify in your mind today and you want to proceed, or you could say that they don't qualify and then there'll have to be a different administrator. But I just want to kind of give you your clear path, which you probably already know.
Thank you for clarifying that, Dave. Appreciate it.
We have a clear path, but not a clear answer. So,
We'll have an answer when you give the answer. Yeah.
right. We're not quite there yet. So I think it's a bit complicated because now knowing that, Stryker's been operating for quite some time and they haven't been licensed, and discovering that there is potentially a lot of administrative or disciplinary action that took place. And typically we see that all in advance and we have the opportunity to review and weigh that. And so that's the part that I'm just personally struggling with is they seem to be qualified. Everything I think is if I had known about the administrative actions and have all of that up front, I think likely it would have been much easier to move forward. Not having that and having some discrepancies in the application complicate that a little bit. Doesn't mean I'm not willing to move forward today, but that's just kind of where I'm kind of struggling a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, and I'll remind you that, it's not that it counts, but I think you can weigh it. It's a multinational company that's
Right.
dealing with their own products. And so obviously the people that they have there have knowledge of what their products are, which is what the law is about. But again, on a technicality, Jens pointed out that they may not qualify, and you may want to have that all in front of you before you make the final decision.
Yeah, Adam Porter for the record. I think to your point, Mr. Weiss, I think the intent of that is that they have knowledge of the product. And so I don't have any heartburn about that. I think the longer that we wait and keep them unlicensed, is probably
More problematic.
more problematic. Yeah. So I would be I'm glad that we are here getting them into compliance today. So I would be in favor of moving forward with the applications.
Okay, is that a motion?
That is a motion.
All right. Is there a second?
Shanice Taylor, a second.
We have a motion by Mr. Porath, a second by Ms. Taylor. Do we want, actually, before we move on that, did you want to add that they have to include their administrative history and updated application?
Yes, I will amend my motion to include that they provide that information.
And I second.
And for discussion, yeah, and I'll review it, and if there's any concerns, we'll get that before we actually grant the license. So we'll, if there's any concerns, we won't grant the license and it'll come back. I doubt there'll be concerns, but I think Jens already, Jens technical, so that she's presenting you a technical problem, so.
Okay, great. So we have an amended motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
and
you.
then I'm going to call for just a quick break. Take a momentary break and be back. Okay, we're going to continue with Board of Pharmacy agenda. I'll call for agenda item 13C for Orlandis Wells. So Dr. Wells, if you could please come forward. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
If I could have you state your full name for the record.
My name is Lamar Wells.
Okay. You join me? Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
I do.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to Ms. Long.
Thank you, Madam President. Yan Long for the record. Hi, Dr. Wells. My name is Yan. I'm going to walk the board members through your application. This is Dr. Orlandis Wells. He is applying for a controlled substance registration. His application takes place on page 4736 of the board book. And he is appearing before you today because he made some disclosures on his application. So Dr. Wells, I'm going to just go over and summarize some of the disclosures to the board members. Please correct me if I'm wrong or provide any additional clarifications as you want, okay? So on August 21st of 2019, Dr. Wells was indicted by the U.S. Department of Justice on 32 counts of violations of 21 U.S.C. 841. Section 841 of Title 21 of the United States Code defines unlawful acts and penalties related to the manufacturing, distributing, dispensing, or possessing of controlled substances. The indictment alleged that Dr. Wells prescribed controlled substances without a legitimate medical purpose and outside the usual course of professional practice, which led to the unlawful distribution of oxycodone and hydrocodone to more than a dozen patients. And then at the end, I'll go back to what happened with that indictment. On August 22nd, 2019, so same year, same month, Dr. Wells surrendered his DEA certification and registration to the DEA by executing a DEA Form 104 entitled Surrender for Cause. And that led to August 22nd, 2019, same date, board staff issuing Dr. Wells a surrender of his DEA certificate registration was for cause operated as an immediate suspension of his controlled substance registration. And then September, next month later in 2019, the board filed an accusation against Dr. Wells in case 19-211-CS-S relating to the surrender of his DEA and subsequent suspension of his controlled substance registration, and alleged 3 causes of action. 2 of those causes of action were related to unlawful conduct and failing to comply with federal requirements pertaining to controlled substances, and the 3rd was for his surrender of his DEA registration. And in lieu of a hearing and other disciplinary action on October, the next month later, October 9th of 2019, Dr. Wells voluntarily surrendered his controlled substance registration in response to the allegations in the accusation in case 19-211, which concluded that case. And then on May 10th of 2023, we're talking about 4 years later, the United States District Court for the District of Nevada dismissed the indictment filed by the U.S. Department of Justice without prejudice, as the indictment failed to allege that Dr. Wells knowingly or intentionally acted without authorization. And then on November 16th of 2023, the Board of Medical Examiner filed 2 complaints against Dr. Wells. That is complaint 23-28071, 0731 and 2. Those 2 complaints allege that they reviewed 8 to 9 patient charts, which were nearly identical regards to physical exam and plan, which they alleged demonstrate a lack of individual care for the 9 patients. Additionally, Dr. Wells had prescribed methadone to a majority of these patients and oxycodone as needed for pain, which was alleged by the Board of Medical Examiners to be extremely dangerous. Additionally, Dr. Wells failed to maintain proper medical records, as medical records, when compared to prescription records, showed incongruencies. And then in the other complaint, it was alleged that Dr. Wells failed to justify the continued prescribing of high doses of opioids for patients, failed to provide inadequate monitoring of patients. Additionally, documentation for patient visits were nearly identical, and negative urine drug screens for patients who were prescribed opioids were not addressed. And subsequent to those filed complaints on June 7th of 2024, Dr. Wells entered into a settlement agreement with the Board of Medical Examiners, settling the 2 complaints. His medical license was revoked, the revocation was stayed, and he was placed on probation for 24 months. He was ordered to complete 22 CMEs related to best practice in prescribing controlled substances and to enroll and complete probe ethics and boundaries program. On December of 2025, last year, the probationary status on Dr. Wells' medical license was removed by the medical board. So those are the issues and items that were provided by Dr. Wells regarding his medical license and history with the law. Dr. Wells, you are applying for your controlled substance registration following all of this that occurred. Can you tell me why you're applying for a controlled substance registration and what your practice will be like?
Yes, well, one thing you omitted, in May of 2023, I did receive my controlled substance registration again, in July, from the Board of Pharmacy, but since part of the settlement agreement, I didn't know I was going to be disciplined by the medical board, so that's why. So that I had to let it expire. Part of the agreement was not to prescribe for 12 months. So henceforth, I completed all my requirements as you stated, and my practice now is hormone replacement therapy. So I deal with a lot of men and women testosterone, other related issues. So I'm applying for my controlled substance to further my wellness practice. So that's the basis why I'm coming before the board this morning.
Will you just be prescribing testosterone controlled substances, or will you be needing to prescribe C2, hydrocodone, oxycodone, methadone, any of that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, just three and below, just nothing on 2. No controlled substance.
Good to know. And we're not litigating any case. Can you explain what happened with the complaints filed with the Board of Medical Examiners, why they filed those complaints, and the disciplinary action? They found, issues with documentations, issues with, you prescribing without doing exams and having plans for these patients. And these are for, controlled substances, which are highly abused. Can you explain what happened there, or yeah, can you just provide an explanation?
Yeah. So in the beginning, how I even got into that area was that helping another physician. And so the reason the board filed their complaint, I did have a charge. They picked 8 clients out of 150. The other clients were in compliance with what was required. So most of the patients were stabilized patients, and they transferred from other practices. So the exams that they saw were from the other doctors. I did do complete exams on them. I had an employee, unfortunately, if it had gone to trial with another, I had an employee that actually went in and took some charts and to start her own practice. So that's why when the board asked for charts, I didn't have them in because the employee took it. I did file a police report. I did call the board of medicine to tell them what happened, but they said she's not a doctor. There's nothing we can do about that. So therefore, I agreed to settle, because I'm coming off 4-year litigation expense, and I was like, you know what? I'll just settle so I can start getting my life back on track. So that's what happened with that. That's why I wasn't congruent with those 8 patients, and they didn't even examine the other 132 42 patients that were compliant. That's what we argued to the judge. Henceforth, all indictments was dismissed for a cause. They didn't, the authorization, Ruan, the case with Ruan. So that's why the judge dismissed the indictment, because of indictment was faulty.
You mentioned earlier that you were helping another provider. How does that tie in?
Oh, well, had I done my due diligence, I didn't know I knew the provider. She was moving to an office that I was moving out of, so we kind of crossed paths that way. And she asked what I did. So I'm a OBGYN, so I have a specialty in pelvic surgery and pain with endometrial and other things with women's health. So the doctor notified me that the physician who was working with them had walked out on the patients. And verbatim, I didn't hear what they said, but per what she told me, it said, I'm tired of taking care of all these Black people. That's what was told. And that's how I got involved. Said, okay, let me just temporarily kind of bridge the gap till you find another provider. And so for a couple of months, I went to help them out. But when you take care of the patient, they get fond to you, so they wanted to follow me. I'm like, well, I don't really do that full time, but I just couldn't turn my back on them. So, and that's how that happened. That's how I got started with it.
Okay. And then the part that I didn't quite follow is, so from the Department of Justice,
Yes.
those that was later dismissed, was that what the medical board also included in their accusation, or there are separate occurrences that happened that the medical board?
It seemed to all my attorneys, it seemed that it was concurrent, where they collaborated with the Department of Justice. Well, we don't have a federal criminal case against, so we'll have it administratively. That's what my attorney told me at the time. So it was concurrent to because I didn't get indicted criminally, they were going to handle it administratively. From what a few years ago, so that's what I remember.
Yeah, you've had a lot happen in a short period of time there.
Yes.
And then the record keeping you mentioned, was solely based on the files that they could not find, and you're alleging or saying that it's an employee that took those charts?
Yes, I had x-rays, I had urine screens, I had addendums to the templates I had. That's what they went on, but I did have some addendums, but she took all of that. But
you don't have electronic medical records?
That's when we were transitioning over. So I did, and the templates were in the electronic medical records. But when they came in initially, they filled out a intake form where we would scan it and upload it into all EMR. So that's how, before we transitioned over fully to EMR, to templates in EMR.
Okay, and then right now, your place where you're looking for where you need this, is it your company, or is that owned by you, Hormone Therapy Institute?
Yes, that's my DBA, yes, ma'am. That's me 100%.
Okay, and then have you started?
Yes, I've been done for quite a few years.
Okay, and then there's someone else at the practice that prescribes testosterone or controlled substances?
Yeah, I have a nurse practitioner who helps me out. She co-manages with me, so I can't prescribe, so she does it. But I don't do a lot of testosterone right now because I'm limited. So it's the people who are on it.
I was gonna
She's
say,
helping me
you
maintain.
can't do that, yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
All right, sorry, Dr. Long, I'll turn it back to you. Just had a
No.
couple questions.
Yeah, those are great questions. I just have one last question. It was mentioned in the complaint with the medical board that negative drug screens, patients had negative drug screens, which should have shown positive for opioids because those were prescribed to the patients, but they were not addressed. Can you describe what happened with those records and why you kept on prescribing controlled substances, regardless of the drug screens?
Yeah, from what I was reading and research, even talking to some of the companies, they were telling me that some clients may be hypermetabolized, they could be taking it and not showing up in urine. So I'm like, okay, so what do I do? So I would always get counsel on, not a lawyer, but like I had a pharmacist who does specialty in pain medicine. I had other lab vendor representatives. I would ask about this, or why they say they're taking it, why it's not showing in urine. It says some people are hypermetabolizers and it just doesn't show up. I'm like, okay. So that was my response to that. And once that happened, when they come negative again, a lot of patients I discharged because I'm like, well, are you being honest or are you telling the truth? So I would discharge them. They had more than one negative, because the negative they were talking about on those 8 patients, but if they came negative again, I would discharge them from the practice. So I didn't even care for them anymore. That's how I handled that. Mhm.
Great, thank you. And I do want to tell the board that since his controlled substance registration was surrendered and suspended, he hasn't been prescribing. Dr. Wells has not been prescribing any controlled substances since. We did look into that as well. So I'll turn it over to the board for any additional questions that they may have for Dr. Wells.
Hi, Adam Porth for the board. Just clarification, can you tell us about the current status of your medical board license, free and clear? Are there any restrictions on it?
Free and clear, I have no restrictions whatsoever.
And then on your application, you marked that you desire to have Schedule 2 through 5. It sounds like from your testimony today, you'd be okay if we restrict that to Schedule 3?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So, Dr. Wells, from the experiences that you've had in the last couple of years, what will you do differently with Hormone Therapy Institute, or what have you already probably done differently to ensure that none of that ever happens again?
Thank you for that question. And like I said, it has been a journey these past years. And initially, there was a lot of anger, resentment, because I felt it was malicious. My intent was to do good by the patients. Okay, but the benefit I did get from going to those courses that was recommended by the board, the ethics course and the prescribing course, it reframed my thinking that, you know what, even though in my mind, I thought I was helping a community that's been traditionally underserved, I could have heard, so I understand just not knowing 100%. I do know as a surgeon, we do some pain management, but I do know that as the times have changed, I could have potentially harmed someone. So that part of the resentment part, I said, okay, I understand why the board's doing what they're doing. I learned a lot in the prescribing course. So I submitted a personal protection plan to protect me going forward from a personal standpoint. So I did submit that with the application. So what I've learned is that to basically stay in my lane, right? So hormone therapy is my thing. I've authored 2 books on hormone therapy. I would say that's my jam, but we prefer. That's my thing right there. So I just want to move forward, helping women and men to age gracefully in this part of their lives, do it strategically. I have created templates, I've got legal advice for consents templates and how to approach the situations better. So that's how I would handle my hormone therapy practice. I continue to do about 20 to 25 hours a year in advanced hormone therapy and how to treat. So I just came from a course for A4M this past weekend. So I will continue to update myself and continue to stay ahead of on point with the current recommendations in hormone replacement therapy.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. And then what about for record keeping? So how are you gonna prevent something like that happening again?
I've invested in a new EMR that has an AI prescribing, AI trucks, prescribing is part of it. Like I said, again, with templates, legal representation, what I can do, Nevada law requires, so put that in the template of consents and just have good, better documentation from a great SOAP note, not just a template, but just even, I do physical, but even better physical exams. So over this course of learning and going through this process, I've learned to refine and do things a lot better.
Okay, and then oversight of the employees and.
Right now, I don't have any employees right now because I clean house and make sure that with background checks and they can't have it. So I've cleaned house. So right now it's just me solo dolo for right now. But I'm creating standard operating procedures.
Didn't you say you had another provider?
Yeah, but she works with me. She's not employed by me. We collaborate together. So she's not employed by me.
Okay.
We share office space and so we share clients.
Okay, solo dolo. Gotcha.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but I'm from Louisiana.
I don't have any other questions. Board members, any further questions?
Just clarifying question, are you requesting 3 through 5 or just schedule 3?
3 through 5, because some procedures I do testosterone pellets, sometimes the minor procedures, people do struggle with some nervous anxiety. So just even something, I don't anticipate using a lot of it, but just for those clients who are, I deal with women who have problems sleeping. So I know that some of the sleep medications are controlled now. So, but they do have some anxiety, but I don't, any psychiatric, mental health behavior, I'm not going to deal with that aspect. Just something if I'm going to do a procedure and they're nervous, maybe just to relax them before the procedure, but no more than that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And one other clarifying question, just confirming all
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
patients you will now have a bona fide relationship with.
I've had a bona fide relationship with all of them. That's probably the problem, not the problem, but yes, I have a relationship with all of them. And I do take their health and their concern and their welfare. And that's what drives me to take good care to my patients. So I do have a great relationship with them.
I don't know.
Madam President, if I can, I have one additional question for Dr. Wells.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Wells, will you be prescribing these testosterone and sleep meds, or will you be dispensing them from your clinic? Do you plan to dispense?
Or just prescribing testosterone pellets, we get them, I guess if you say dispense but no, we will be prescribing them from the pharmacy. I don't keep any inventory or anything.
Okay, but you will get testosterone pellets at your clinic for implantation. Is that correct? Will you be doing
What
that?
I do not, I order them from the pharmacy. The pharmacy will maybe deliver to the office, or the patient may pick them up, they bring them in for insertion at the office.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam President, if I could, so I think Yen was going down the path that I was already going to go. I'm just going to go just slightly deeper. I appreciate your resilience and being here in front. I think they're going to give you a license, so I'm going to give you the next part of it. Now you're in a different thing that you're not going to have the problems that you had in the past, but you're entering a provocative, or you've been in a provocative part of medicine that there are a lot of laws about relating to 503Bs that and 503As and who can possess the drugs. And so you will be possessing drugs if you're doing implantation, and they might be dispensed to the patient, or you can order them through a 503B yourself, have them come in. You just contact us to have us come look at you if you want, to make sure that you don't, because you're entering a world of white bagging, which you don't know what, okay, you do know what that is. And we don't want to find a bunch of drugs out at your place that are not your drugs. So I don't want to you don't want to have any problems moving forward, but you're entering a dynamic, people want this stuff, but there's a lot of people taking advantage of doctors and patients in the market, and we're very sensitive to it. So just be careful with the drugs. If you're prescribing and it's going to a pharmacy, you can't get in trouble. When you start having the drugs, which you probably will, and that's what you're allowed to, that's where you can run into some problems. So just be very careful.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to echo that. When you're ordering drugs for administration, you can't just order it from a pharmacy that compounds down the street. You do have to order it from specific types of pharmacies or wholesalers. They're called 503B pharmacies. So just make sure you're not just ordering it from a pharmacy that says that they're allowed to. They have to be licensed as a 503B pharmacy or a licensed wholesaler to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good advice.
So no further questions for me. I do move to approve the controlled substance application for Mr. Orlando Wells with the adjustment of restricting the application to Schedule 3, 4, and 5 only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Taylor, a second by Mr. Porath. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Right, next, we're gonna go to agenda item 12A for Crystal Lara. So Crystal Lara, if you're out there, please raise your hand.
Crystal, unmute yourself there.
Oh, all right. Hi, Crystal.
Okay,
Yes,
hi.
unmuted. Hi, you're ready to be sworn in?
Yes.
Okay. All right, can you state your full name?
Crystal Lara.
Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Mr. Weiss.
Hi, Crystal. This is Dave Weist. How are you doing?
Hello.
Good to
Good,
see.
how are you?
Thanks for appearing today. Okay, so in front of you, you have Crystal Lara. She's got a tech application in front of you. She's currently a tech in training, and that number is 28740. And so she's now looking to make the transition to a tech, and hopefully she can do that with your approval today. She made a disclosure on her tech application, full transparency. She did not make the disclosure on her tech and training application, which was done of March 30th of 2023 is when she signed it. But she did make the disclosure here. She, of course, matched up the background and everything matched up. So it was a DUI. It was about 10 years ago. But the substance was, if my memory serves me correct, I see a lot of different, it was methamphetamine. Is that right? What was your substance for your DUI?
That was it.
Okay, sounds good. So I think all things said, I just wanted her to appear today so that you could address. I'm not really too concerned about the non-disclosure, but that obviously is an issue that you guys can address. And then I'll let her tell you the circumstances of what happened with the DUI, and then turn it over to you. So what happened with the DUI, Crystal?
So the DUI, I mean, I was 21 and I had went out and I experimented with drugs and I drove my car and I got arrested and I did an overnight and then I was put on probation. I forgot how long it was for, but I completed a program, a drug program. I don't remember what the name of the program was, but I completed the program and I've been good ever since. I mean, my life is not in that direction. And I've been a tech for 3 years. I am a mom. I'm like, it's so far behind me. That's what like happened.
Yeah, you're not that person, right? You're not that person
No,
today.
absolutely not. And I'm so thankful for that because if I didn't get caught, you never know what would happen to me. But yeah.
And my dealings have found you to be a genuine person that's just trying to improve her life and take care of her family. So I do appreciate that. With that, I'll turn it over to the board.
Okay.
So Crystal, this is Helen Park. Just curious as to why you didn't disclose it in your previous application.
I didn't disclose it on the previous one because I felt like that it had been 10 years and it didn't define who I was. When I did the second application, I came to a panic when I went in there just because I went into the fingerprints and I didn't know like what the fingerprints would show. So I was like, I got to disclose that. I do pass background checks, but that is why.
Okay. And you understand that that's something that you'll have to continue to disclose in your application.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel so much better now that I did too. Thank you.
Did the application itself help you with that warning that it.
Warning on both, sorry.
It was on both?
Yeah, I checked. The WOW warning, which we really like.
Yeah.
It has made a huge difference. I'll give Yen and Dick credit for that. It was on the other one. I think that, I don't want to speak for her, but my sense in talking to her was like, she was just trying not to be that person. And I understand that, but you must be honest with the state, that's the deal.
All right, and then if you could just tell us a little bit about your interest in becoming or being a pharmacy technician.
When I initially started as a pharmacy technician, it was just a part-time job for some extra cash. And as I started to work there, I was only working there Saturdays. I got really close with my patients, and it just became something that I'm really actually good at. So I ended up now I'm full-time with them, and I'm ready. I want to go into my next career and as far as retail. I want to move into a hospital. I just want to grow as a pharmacy technician because if I found something that's good for me, that I enjoy waking up to every day. So that's just how it worked out.
Okay. All right, very good. Any other questions, board members? I think everything's been settled up. Yeah.
At Crystal Freitas, I don't have any questions, so I'd move to approve pharmacy tech application for Crystal Lara.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Freitas and second by Mr. Porath. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Your application has been approved today. We wish you all the best, Crystal.
Crystal, this is Dave. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
You speak, so I'm sorry.
Go
Did you want
ahead.
to say something? Okay, I'll go. You'll get your license later today in the email, so check your spam just in case, and then you can go get your raise.
Okay. Thank you so
All right.
much, you guys. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, we're gonna go next to 11A for Paul Arp. Paul Arp, if you are online or in the room, if you could come forward.
Good morning.
Good morning. Right, could I have you state your full name?
My name is, yes, Paul Douglas Arp.
Okay, I'm gonna swear you in. If you could join me in raising your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
I do.
Okay, great, thank you. I'll turn it over to Dr. Long.
Thank you, Madam President. This is agenda item 11A for Paul Arp, which takes place on page 4669 of the board book. Mr. Arp, my name is Yen. I'll be walking the board members through your application. Mr. Arp is applying for a pharmacist registration by reciprocation. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy in 1987 from the University of Georgia College of Pharmacy. He currently holds an active license in Georgia. He is appearing before the board today due to some disclosures made on his application. He reported in April of 2006, he voluntarily surrendered his pharmacy registration, or his pharmacist registration, excuse me, with the Georgia Board of Pharmacy. The reason for the voluntary surrender is that on or about January of 2006, Mr. Arp admitted that while employed at CVS, he filled approximately 118 fraudulent prescriptions for controlled substances for his friends and for himself over a period of 4 years. On March 21st of 2007, a year later, the Georgia Board of Pharmacy reinstated Mr. Arp's pharmacist registration, which was placed on probation for 5 years and was restricted to only being able to practice pharmacy under the supervision of a pharmacist for the first 3 months. He was instructed to maintain perpetual inventory of controlled substances. He was not allowed to be the pick. He was not allowed to have pharmacy ownership. He had to complete a NAPLEX review course. And if he were to practice outside of Georgia, he had to alert the Georgia Board of Pharmacy. On May 9th of 2012, about 5 years later, the Board of Pharmacy in Georgia lifted the probation status. Mr. Arp, is that a complete, is it accurate, your history?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. And can you explain the circumstances surrounding the fraudulent prescriptions? Why were you filling fraudulent prescriptions? And they were for controlled substances. So can you just explain the circumstances surrounding the fraudulent prescriptions?
Well, prior to my employment with CVS, I had owned an apothecary type pharmacy inside a walk-in medical clinic, and had a good relationship with the medical director there. When I sold that practice to my business partner, the medical director, Dr. Stephen Foster, basically asked me, could we do a what amounted to a collaborative practice agreement, which at that time was kind of unheard of, but just for me to take care of some of our patients that wanted to follow me to where I went to when I went to CVS.
Okay, so then in this collaborative practice you speak of, you were prescribing controlled substances to these patients? Is that correct?
Well, at this time, yes. On a monthly basis, some of it was hydrocodone. Most of it was hydrocodone, which at that time was a Schedule 3, I believe, which allowed for refills. So that was mostly hydrocodone.
Okay, thank you. And it said in the action taken against you by the Georgia Board of Pharmacy, you were prescribing these controlled substances to yourself as well. Can you?
No controlled substances to myself. The only thing that I can recall, and granted this is 20 years ago, the only thing that I can recall prescribing to myself was antibiotics.
Okay.
For an occasional infection of some type.
And when you wrote these prescriptions, did you fill them yourself as well, or did you have a different pharmacist in the pharmacy fill them?
I was the one filling them.
And did you sign the prescriptions, or did you sign the doctor's signature on the prescriptions? Like how did you?
They were treated as if they were. I'm sorry. They were treated as if they were phone-in prescriptions.
Okay, I see. And the doctor was aware that you were doing this?
Yes, and we spoke at least monthly, if not more frequently.
And how did you see these patients or assess them?
Well, usually it was either they came into the pharmacy or would call me and tell me they were coming in, and we would get things ready for them.
Okay. And it looks like you've been practicing in Georgia. You had a license briefly in Arizona, I believe.
No, I had a Tennessee license that I'd gotten by reciprocation. I never practiced in the state, and because at one point I was trying to determine was I going to stay in Georgia or move to Tennessee.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. It was Tennessee. And where have you been
Yes.
practicing since? Have you been a practicing pharmacist since all of this happened?
Yes, I worked for Rite Aid for approximately 14 years, then became Walgreens, and I'm currently practicing with Ingles Pharmacy, which is a regional grocery store chain, coming up on 5 years.
Great, thank you. And why do you want to pursue a license with the Nevada Board of Pharmacy?
We are, my husband and I are in the process of selling our home here in Georgia and moving to the Las Vegas area.
Great.
I'm getting real close to retirement, but I'm not ready to give it up yet.
Yeah, I noticed you graduated in 1987, so that's great. You've been
Well,
in
I've actually worked in a pharmacy since I was 15 years old, so I'll let you do the math on that one.
That is great. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I don't have any additional questions for you. I'll turn it over to the board.
Thank you.
This is Helen Park. I don't have any additional questions. I think Mr. Arp answered and fully disclosed what happened, and it was over 20 years ago, so I'm comfortable moving forward with this application.
I would agree. Adam, for the record, I would move that we approve the pharmacist application for Paul Art.
Shanice Taylor, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Porath, a second by Ms. Taylor. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Arp. Your application has been approved.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day. All right, we're gonna go circle back to Orion Specialty Labs LLC. So if we have any representatives here, okay, someone here and online.
Hello, it's John
Yeah.
Hartwig online.
Hello, hi, John.
Hi, Kimberly Muller online.
Okay, great. And then it looks like we have someone in person.
Yes, Justin.
Justin, Burnett, pharmacist in charge.
Okay, excellent. And that completes your party?
Yes, it does.
Great. I'm gonna swear all three of you in together, but I need a verbal affirmation from each of you. Join me in raising your right. Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to provide will be both truthful and complete?
Yes.
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 Thank you. All right. Was that an extra yes? All right. I will turn it over to Mr. Heckendahl.
Thank you, Madam President. We have a new application for an outsourcing facility for Orion Specialty Labs LLC in Henderson, Nevada. The agenda item is 9A and begins on page 4450 in the board book. Some of the questions I have for you guys, you already answered in the application, but I just wanted to ask again in front of the board. My first question is for the owner, Kimberly Muller. Why do you want to own an outsourcing facility?
We wanted to because where the facility is located, it's in close proximity to a bunch of compound pharmacies located outside of Nevada. And I think Justin probably can help more with this answer as the pharmacist in charge.
All right, I will definitely be asking him the same question later. One more question for you, Kimberly. Can you provide information on your experience with outsourcing facilities?
My experience?
Yeah.
John, is this you a question or?
This question is going to John next.
Yeah, I mean, from the experience viewpoint, as far as Kimberly on your viewpoint is the limited experience as far as having a 503B, it's a matter of just owning the entity.
And then John Hardwick, what is your role with Orion Specialty Labs?
So I'm actually a technical support on contract for them to help them with building the facility and documentation and just really as more of a subject matter expert to build out and operate and get everything in place so that they can have a new facility.
Okay. And then Dr. Kernut, can you provide information on your experience with outsourcing facilities?
Sure, yeah. So minimal. But Orion, when they approached me to be a part of this, there's not too many pharmacists that even have experience in 503Bs. My expertise lies in clean room and aseptic technique, which is probably anyone can follow a recipe for compounding, but the aseptic, the process, the cleanliness is where I shine coming from nuclear pharmacy, having complied with USP 825 standards, clean room standards. Outside of that, one of the things that gives me confidence in being a part of this and my per se lack of experience is the electronic EQMS that we're using is catered and designed. It's called QT9 to keep us in our lanes. And so it's very incredibly intuitive for SOPs, kappas, deviations, control changes, everything like that. So I feel that even with my per se lack of experience in the outsourcing facility itself, I bring a wide variety of interpreting law. There's outside about me, but I've affected SOPs and changes in multiple pharmacies across the United States with regard to clean room technique and things like that. So I can read the law. I'm incredibly great at interpreting the law and making sure that we're within bounds.
Okay. And then is there any other measures you're doing to prepare to be the pharmacist in charge for a 503B?
Yeah, so two things. One of our right-hand people as part of this project, his name is Chris Musser. We have him on speed dial. He's essentially a 20-year veteran in the 503B space. He's started facilities, counseled facilities, helped them grow their facilities, expand their facilities, implement and start at all phases. So he's kind of been our right-hand man for helping us in understanding what SOPs, what policies and procedures we need to have in place that we're uploading into our EQMS. So Chris Musser is an incredibly reliable source that I've got on speed dial. One of the second things, and again, probably lesser of the things is obviously we need to do continuing education credits as pharmacists. So I've actually enrolled myself into some 503Bs just to make sure I know, why they're even here, why they're around, why we use them, and essentially walking me through. Again, very basic, I understand, but those are some of the techniques that I'm implementing to make sure that they've got the most quality person on their team.
Okay.
Sorry, Billy, hold on. What's enroll in 503B? I don't know what you said you enroll in 503B. What does that mean?
I enrolled in a 503B continuing education course.
Okay, gotcha.
So through PowerPack or one of those, I apologize.
Good. You don't have to apologize. You didn't know what it meant. So, okay.
Now, Chris Musser, what is his role? Is he acting as a consultant or is he going to be full-time staff with Orion?
Essentially consulting.
Okay.
Yeah, so Chris works with me, and for example, my background is 25 years in engineering and building pharmaceutical, biotech, particularly the large pharmaceutical and biotech facilities and processes, equipment, starting up infrastructure, utilities, etc. So Chris has worked with me for the last 5-6 years, just continuing with our team for expertise in more in the 503B world, with again operations, SOPs, software such as the environmental monitoring and logging, and as Justin mentioned, quality procedures, training, batch records. So that's where Chris and I are supporting the operation to get them, besides construction, both operational and support ongoing with operational support.
Okay. And then Dr. Cornell, can you provide information on your experience being a pharmacist in charge?
Yeah, so as of COVID, I moved to Idaho and became a pick for probably one of the top nuclear pharmacies in Idaho. Incredible clean room, and I was essentially integral in getting all that up to speed. So as pharmacist in charge, I was there about 6 years. About 6 months ago, moved back to the state of Nevada, and where I'm born and raised. So I, love Idaho, but a little too rural for me. But we actually partnered with a local ISU, Idaho State University, and had students that rotated through as PIC. I wanted to expose, not literally, but expose students to different facets of pharmacy. My hope is obviously after we put the policies and procedures in place to make sure we have a 503B pharmacy that's well put together, that hopefully we can maybe approach Roseman or which I'm a mater to, and probably get students to rotate through there. So as PIC, that's kind of where I started. I was also the radiation safety officer. So in nuclear pharmacy, we deal with not only the Board of Pharmacy, but the NRC. In 503B pharmacy, it's very coincidental that instead of the NRC, it's the FDA. And so I'm well versed in speaking with them and going through inspections and things like that. So.
Okay. And then on the application, it says the designated person is going to be someone named Hayes Atia. Can anyone provide information on his or her experience with outsourcing facilities?
That would be a question for him.
Kim, is that?
Who was the other person?
The question was your designated person, Hayes Atia. What is their experience with outsourcing facilities, if any?
He's a pharmacy tech.
I'm sorry, can you?
Yeah, Hayes.
Pharmacy. John?
I don't believe he's on the new application. Hayes is part of the extended company. He's in Florida and really bringing Justin in for Nevada, as well as other people, recent hires for head of quality, et cetera. So I don't know if Hayes will.
I know we revised, once I got on board about a month ago, we revised it and resubmitted it. I don't recall seeing that name. Was it
No,
on
we
maybe
did revise.
the previous one? And if so, could we strike that name?
Well, who is the designated representative then?
We did revise it. And Justin, you were the only one on the new revision.
So
are you going to
I'm
be
the designated representative, correct?
and the pharmacist in charge?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have experience being a designated representative?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have a time frame in mind of when you guys will start compounding products?
We would like to do that sooner rather than later. Currently, we're in build out and it's resourcefully exhausting. And so I know that some of our owners are wanting it sooner rather than later. So obviously, first step is this. Second step is clean room finishing the facilities, and obviously we need to hire technicians and order the products. So ideally,
I would say by end of Q2 in the next few months. We're currently in equipment and room qualification phase, and just getting everything qualified. So, but really, hopefully within 2-3 months.
Okay. And then on the application, it also listed someone named Nala Ahmed. Was this just a name that you guys forgot to update? It seems like she may have been the old PIC.
Previous PIC, correct?
Yep.
So that should have been struck as well.
The next question here is, who will be your customers?
So we have part of the extended business network. We have ownership or partners with several pharmaceuticals or pharmacies, both in the Nevada, particularly in the Nevada area or in the Las Vegas area. And we have somewhat of a network of just people that we know. So as far as from a sales viewpoint, more so just our network of connections that are already existing.
Okay. I'm interested in understanding your approach to compliance for 503B operations. Which guidelines or standards do you reference to manage sterile compounding and environmental monitoring?
For Justin.
Yeah. So 21 CFR Part 210 and 211 is ideally where the law exists for the compounding. There's also CGMP guidelines through the FDA. I've essentially reviewed and am reviewing and making sure that the SOPs that Chris Musser has not fed me, but make sure that they comply, as well as the state of Nevada's codes, and making sure that we're all in par with those.
Okay. On the application, you listed that you'll be compounding testosterone injectable solutions. Is there anything else you will be or planning to compound at this time?
That's it. Small batches of non-sterile. And again, this was my recommendation to them, was make sure we can do one thing good. Make sure we can get it start to finish, no deviations. CAPAs are all in order. Our EQMS is working properly and making sure our guardrails are in place. Outside of that, I honestly, as a PIC, refuse to do more. So at this time, obviously.
So you're compounding non-sterile products?
No, just testosterone.
Sterile or non-sterile?
Sterile.
Just sterile.
Testosterone cypionate. For office use only.
And then do you anticipate obtaining licensure in additional states to distribute products outside of Nevada?
Not at the moment.
One last question for Dr. Cornett. In 2016, you received disciplinary action from the Nevada Board of Pharmacy, which resulted in the revocation of your pharmacist licensure for falsifying multiple prescriptions for yourself and filling them at your pharmacy. Your license was not fully reinstated until 2021. Can you explain how you disclosed the details of this disciplinary action to Orion Specialty Labs, particularly in light of the responsibilities associated with serving as a pharmacist in charge?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so in the interview process, I made it beyond just looking impressive, I suppose, on paper with aseptic technique and cleaning. At which point I had a frank discussion with one of the main owners, and basically told him about the incidents, disclosed that, you know, I had lost my license previously. None of it was for controlled medications. However, I explained the situation to him. He's very understanding. Since then, and I think that's where I shine most, and I told him this, is number one, I'm not willing to lose my license ever again over anything. So I will put hard stops on anything that looks like it's off. Number two, and extemporaneous to that, upon receiving my license back, I actually was granted a license to operate a compounding pharmacy in Pahrump. The team that I was a part of, we were gonna, you know, change the world. The team that I was a part of started changing things, cutting corners and doing things that I wasn't willing to lose my license for. And so I rescinded my name off of the license. And as owner, I completely put a kibosh to it. And so I told the owner of the facility too that, you know, this place can get going with my name, or if at any moment I will walk away and my license will not be attached to this. He was very grateful for that frankness, and I was hired on the spot. So I think the candidness of having lost it and then the explanation and being straightforward was actually maybe even a blessing in this moment.
Now, with that experience with the compounding pharmacy in Pahrump, what year was that?
So that would have been in 2019, 2020. So right before COVID hit.
And what were the things that you didn't agree that they were doing?
Yeah, so they essentially had hired and I'm going to say this as delicately as I can. They essentially we had hired a Walmart pharmacist, a churn and burn pharmacist, kind of to move medicine, and he'd taken a very slight course in compounding, and I think the board was willing to grant it to us because it was non-sterile. But I didn't feel comfortable with his ability, and I told them that, and they weren't willing to amend the license to put it on hold as compounding and just run it until he was more certified or we found somebody better. And at that point, we were in disagreement, at which point I rescinded my license, I rescinded the entire license actually, because I was the pick, the everything on it, so.
You were the pick, but I thought your license to get reinstated till 2021.
Maybe my timeline's off. Whenever this occurred, I was a pharmacist at that time. As a matter of fact, it was months after receiving my license back in full capacity that I sat before and asked for be an owner, maybe not pick, but owner of a pharmacy, at which point I was grilled heavily, but I was authorized the pharmacy to be owner. So maybe I misspoke as being pick, but it was right around COVID, because when I decided to pull out of it, I moved straight to Idaho and became a pick up there for a nuclear pharmacy. So maybe my timelines are off. I apologize. I'm pretty sure I had my license back around that time, but I could be off by a year or two, maybe.
Okay, no further questions.
Madam President, Dave Weiss for the records. I have some follow-up questions. Kimberly, is Dave Weiss, the executive of the board, for some follow-up questions. Do you know a company by the name of MIMEDX?
No, I do not.
Okay. For Justin, you mentioned twice, a male owner that you talked to. Who's that?
Say that one more time. Oh, Dan.
Dan, last name?
Goldwing? John, what's Dan's.
Gordon.
Gordon.
Okay, and then who are the other owners? You said there are multiple owners that want to open it as soon as possible.
Maybe I misspoke. He's the only one I've spoken with.
So it's Kimberly and him own the company, or?
Not sure. I apologize. So my ultimate meeting was with Dan and John, at which time I thought he was an owner, but that was just me interviewing for a company. So John's
a consultant.
Who was a consultant, correct?
Christopher Musser is the consultant.
And Christopher Musser was.
Okay, Kimberly, are you the owner of the company?
I am the owner. Dan is just helping, hires people. He does the interview process.
Okay. I'll refer you to page 5 of your application. You're listed as the only owner of the company.
I am the only owner, yes.
Justin, what's going on there then?
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I didn't, I don't know. I'm a pharmacist in charge. I didn't think to ask about ownership or try to get in the weeds of.
I don't think it's necessarily the weeds. I don't think it's necessarily the weeds of a company, Justin.
Agreed.
Yeah.
However, I didn't insert myself, and having only been in for about 3 weeks, I did.
Okay, back to Kimberly. Did you fill out the original application, Kimberly, or who filled out the original application?
I did fill out the original application.
Okay, was the original application for an outsourcing facility?
I think it was the same. I think I only just changed the pharmacist in charge.
No, you filled out an application for a wholesaler, but the name of the company was Orion Specialty Pharmacy. Do you remember that?
Let me see.
And then you submitted a second application that was for an outsourcing facility, which was confusing to us. We couldn't figure out what
That's
you
why
were.
you guys kept saying there were 2 Orions.
Yeah, you created the 2 Orions, not
It was
the
okay.
staff.
It was always going to be it was always an outsourcing facility, but the correct name was Orion Specialty Labs
Okay.
LLC.
So just to be clear, you haven't moved forward on the other application. So this is the application that you want in front of the board today.
Yes, Orion Specialty Labs LLC. That is correct.
And then I'll just make mention that on the application, you did check the box that you wouldn't be wholesale reselling medications, and you signed that, Kimberly, dated February 10th. But I think with the testimony today it is your intent to wholesale drugs to people.
It's our intent to wholesale drugs to people.
The organization. Yeah, but you checked that you would not.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll reserve some other questions, but I'll probably turn it over to the board. It's just a little confusing for me.
It is a bit confusing, and there's been some inconsistencies with the result answers. And then with Kimberly Moeller, you were asked earlier about your experience with 503B, and it sounds like you do not have any. You kind of passed that question over. Do you have any 503B experience? Are you there?
Yes, I am. I apologize.
Okay. Just want to know a little bit more about your background.
I don't have any. I don't.
Okay, and then why are you interested in going into this space?
Into
this
pharmacy?
space? And specifically 503B.
Because there's an opportunity with customer network.
What's customer network? Kimberly, what is customer network? What does that mean?
5038 customers.
Okay, there's an opportunity with customers?
Yes.
Okay. I might be able to help you. I think I do have Dave Weiss again for the record. This might be helpful. Kimberly, I have your employment record. So can you walk the board through what businesses you've been involved in before here? What kind of work you've done? Have you been employed before?
I don't know if there's bad connection. I know Kimberly's really
Sorry.
sick.
Sorry.
There, you okay, Kimberly?
Be better if I didn't have the flu.
What's your work history?
I had some prior experience with this pharmacy, Palomar in Florida.
What was that about?
That was another 503A pharmacy.
That was not another, it was a 503A pharmacy. This is a
Yes.
503B pharmacy.
That was a 503A.
Okay, and what was the name of that?
Palomar Specialty Pharmacy.
And what did you do there?
I was the owner of that as well.
And you owned it from when to when?
It was 2022 till present.
Do you currently still own it?
Yes.
Do you own it by yourself?
Yes.
And spell the name of the pharmacy for me, please.
Palomar, P as in Paul, OLOMAR. Specialty Pharmacy.
And is that in Palm Beach or where's that?
Palm Harbor.
Palm Harbor, okay. And how did you get to know Justin?
From Indeed.com.
Okay. And then you have other work history. So what other things, what did you do before owning the pharmacy?
I worked for company VC Enterprises, Inc.
What did they do?
Different investments.
In pharmacies or not pharmacies?
No pharmacy.
Okay, and then before that? Did you have any other jobs before that?
DLD Partners, I was there.
You've lived in New York in the past, is that correct?
I have.
You lived in the Carolinas?
I do. Yes.
Okay. All right, that's what I meant. I'm just trying to match up some stuff. Thank you.
So with the current business or application that you have, I'm just trying to get a better understanding of the structure. So you're the owner, and then Justin Kernut would be the pharmacist in charge. You have John Hartwig, who's a consultant, Chris Musser, who's a consultant. Is that your organization structure, or can you expand on that?
Yes, that's it, right? That is the organization structure.
There's a Dan Gordon in there somewhere, but I haven't determined exactly who that is. With Dan's role again is what? Kimberly?
He's a consultant.
Oh, that's right.
Does he work with John? John?
Yeah, we work, he doesn't work for my company, but we talk regularly on, just really, he's more on the business side of, looking from, we're on the more technical side. He's more on the business side. And then we have our, I have already hired a quality manager, Edwin. So we're still building out I'll say the leadership or the key personnel.
Kimberly, how much? That's fine. Kimberly, how much money did you invest in this company?
$250,000.
Do you think that's enough to start up a 503B? Your business plan, is that what's listed in the business plan?
Yes, it's covering capital expenditures.
Okay. John, you're a consultant in this realm?
Yes.
Is that enough to start up a 503B?
We are,
ask a different question. What do you think the capital outlay is to start up a 503B?
by the time we're all done, it'll probably be at least double that.
Okay. Okay. Part of the board's job is to understand the fitness of the person that's applying for the job and to make sure that it's economically sound. I don't think that that's enough money to start up a 503B.
I mean,
In my
I'll put more
experience.
money as needed.
You will. Okay. So that's
Yes,
part
I
of the
will,
business.
sorry.
You have more resources to put into it. Because we don't want to approve the license. We get
No,
people on your service and then it doesn't survive. That's bad for the public.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Justin, I'm just interested in this formulation of testosterone, but why would an office want that rather than a commercially available product?
I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I know that the hope of the team was that I got it off the ground. This is the direction they are pursuing, and it's kind of like when I worked for any pharmacy in the past. Sales isn't my realm. I know that sounds horrible because I care about pharmacy making money. However, my role in this endeavor is to make sure that it's done properly and cleanly and sanitized, so again, apologies for not going into the weeds on ownership either. Like, I apologize. I'm glad that this is already brought to light. So this is good questions for me as well. Thanks for that question. Sorry.
Kim and Justin, same question. Why would anybody want to buy this formulation rather than commercially available testosterone?
Kimberly, that question was for Kim, right?
Kim, you there?
Sorry, I'm dealing with the flu. Sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Why would someone want to buy the compounded testosterone rather than the commercially available product for office use?
This 5038 compound pharmacies are looking for it in different sizes.
I mean, I do know that in-office facilities will multi-dose patients in office, like the gentleman that was here previous. If I could just speak on, again, my role is not necessarily sales, so I don't know why this specific formulation specifically, but I do know that that's why somebody would use this versus a normal medication.
I have deep concerns about this application. I don't know, well, I know for sure, Mr. Kernut, with all due respect, I wouldn't feel comfortable with moving forward with you as an applicant for the PIC and for the 503B generally.
Based off experience?
Yes, I'm actually, I am employed with Empower Pharmacy, so I do have a lot of experience in the 503A and 503B realm. So the fact, Mr. Kernut, that you didn't know the correct response to Adam's question is ringing some really strong alarm bells and red flags.
Who is speaking? I apologize.
Jade Jacobo,
Sorry, my name is Jade. I'm a board member. I'm appearing remotely.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to find the name so I can, if you don't mind me asking, I mean, if I maintain this role and we put this on hold and I sit before you next time, what would increase your odds of moving forward with the application with me?
I mean, a 503B is definitely outside the realm of just 503A compounding. It's not USP, it's CGMP requirements. So it sounds like you have no experience or exposure in that field of work.
Yeah, this is Dave Weisford. It may be, I might offer that you might want to offer them to table it. I think my assessment of it is probably the same as yours, which is the consultants seem like they have some knowledge of what the business is. I'm afraid that the applicant doesn't feel well and is probably not at her best. And so we're not, the answers are not really coming from her. I think structurally, I think that it needs to be a sound business, and the money, I don't think is there for it. But that maybe, so those are, and maybe they need to consider that before you give them the application and they lose the money.
I was just gonna say, I mean, just based on the testimonies today, and again, maybe it's because the owner's not feeling well, taking that into consideration, but I have significant concerns about the ownership, about the qualifications for the managing pharmacist, and I think at this time, I would not feel comfortable moving forward with the application, so I don't know if there's any additional questions from other board members or comments, but I would wonder if Kim, if you want to table the application for now, and then we could revisit this at another time, but at this moment, based on the testimony today, I would not vote favorably.
Yes, can we please table it, the application?
Yes. We will
Thank you, I
table.
appreciate that.
No problem.
I think, sorry, Adam, for the record, back to Dr. Kernut's question, I think having some specific training related to CGMP and what's going to go into FDA inspection, et cetera. I mean, I think that if you can come back the next time around and demonstrate that there's been some work in that area, I think that would be helpful.
Okay, thank you.
The only progress I see is them finding somebody else, is why I'm asking. So thank you for the suggestion. And thank you, Jay, for your, could I read my closing statement in closing?
The application's been tabled at this point, right?
It has, yeah. So we're completed with this agenda item. Yeah. So thank you for coming in today, and then per request, we will table this agenda.
Okay, thank you.
So we're gonna have public comment in just a little bit. You have 3 minutes during that time. If you want to come back up, that time would be fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so just two housekeeping things, because I think that's the end of the agenda. I suspected a potential relationship between those companies, but she said no, and I believe that. So I would remind you that you could go, if you chose, you could do 4H, and that's on the consent agenda, and it's a biotech manufacturing company. So I'll let you do that, and then I have a update. I have one more. I'm going to open up my report and tell you one more thing.
All right, so with the consent agenda, it was the remaining 4H, and now that that's been clarified, we want to make a motion to approve 4H.
Crystal Freitas, I move to approve consent agenda item 4H.
Second.
Give it to Jamie.
Yeah.
All right, so motion by Ms. Freitas, second by Ms. Jacobo. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion passes, and then our executives report.
Yeah, just one more item as it relates to working with other agencies. I give again the majority of the credit for this and also the DEA, but we have a final MOU between the DEA and the Board of Pharmacy related to the pharmacists being able to get their DEA registration. It is by definition of the MOU. I can't make it public. I'll be signing it. It relates to what pharmacists could do. So we've agreed that they will not do methadone clinics at this point. That was one of the contentions, that the DEA didn't want to expand that at this particular time with any other license type. So we won't allow that at this point. I can do that through the MOU. And then secondarily, it's enforcement and who will be enforcing what. And so I think it's a really solid document, and Yen and I are reviewing it right now. It just came in right before the meeting, and it's likely that we'll sign it if it's what our last version was, and then we'll be able to get the pharmacists their DEA registrations related to MOU. So that's really exciting news.
That's great. Thank you for that update. All right, I think that leaves us just then to public as our final order of business. If we have anyone in the room who wishes to make a public comment, or anyone online, please feel free to come forward or raise your hand on Zoom. We do have someone in the room who wishes to make a public comment. Hi, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, in closing.
And then if you just want to re-identify yourself.
Justin Kernett.
Thank you.
Yeah, in closing, thank you. I want to acknowledge directly that while my background is not in 503B operations per se, my career has been built around sterile clean room techniques, aseptic protocols, and disciplined adherence to regulatory standards. My strength as PIC is knowing the laws and guidance, interpreting them correctly, and having the discipline to stop a process the moment it drifts from validated safe state. Our implementation of the QT9 electronic quality management system gives me confidence that the appropriate controls, documents, and quality gates will be hardwired into daily operations rather than left to memory or habit. Just as important, I'm not doing this alone. Orion is backed operationally by Chris Musser, an executive operational leader with over 20 years in FDA, GMP, regulated pharmaceutical manufacturing, facility startup and expansion, and 503B environments, who has repeatedly built and scaled compliant compounding operations. That combination, my focus on aseptic practice and regulatory discipline, QT9, which is our EMS, structured quality framework, and Chris's proven track record as 503B startup and expansion gives me confidence that Orion will be a cautious, compliant, and highly accountable partner to this board and to the patient ultimately served by our products. Thank you.
Great, thank you for your comments. Okay, do we have anyone online who wishes to make a public comment?
Not seeing anyone, Madam President.
Okay, then we'll close the period for public comment. Our next board meeting will take place in Reno on April 15 and 16. And with that, our meeting is now adjourned.